Hey, what's up, guys? Coach Mac, playfastfootball.blogspot.com. Today we're going to be talking about speedball plays out of two-back personnel. All right, last blog we did, I answered a couple questions for some people. I talked a little bit about speedball out of 2x2, I believe, and somebody wrote in a question and said, hey, what would you do speedball-wise out of 20 personnel or twins open two-back personnel? So first thing I want to talk about is I want to talk about what speedball is. For those of you who have watched some of the other blogs, you'll understand a little bit what speedball is. For those of you who don't understand or don't know the concept, speedball is a part of a tempo package. All right, so first thing we got to do is kind of back up a little bit and understand the difference between being a tempo team and being a no-huddle team. A no-huddle team or a no-huddle system is simply just a means of communicating. So a no-huddle system takes the old-fashioned style of putting guys inside the huddle and running a player on the field with a play or running the quarterback back and forth from the sideline with a play. All right? A no-huddle system is a way to communicate the plays to everybody without having to get into the huddle. Now, that does not mean that you are an up-tempo team. Just because you are a no-huddle team, that means that you do not huddle to communicate your plays. An up-tempo team is a team that uses tempo as a philosophy or a style of attack. All right, an up-tempo team is a team that is generally going to try to snap the ball every 11 to 14 seconds or somewhere there within, depending on, high school can be a little bit different. High school you might actually be able to snap it faster because by the time the referees get the ball set, you might actually be able to snap it every 6 to 8 seconds, even though it's 20 seconds between plays. It's actually 6 to 8 seconds from the ready for play whistle because the referees can't get the ball set fast enough. But in college, for instance, I would think that any team that tries to snap the ball every 10 to 13, 11 to 14 seconds from the ready for play whistle, obviously you can play faster than that, you can play slower than that. But a tempo team is somebody who is really trying to push the pace and they are trying to snap the ball as quickly as possible. And when we are talking about speedball, we are talking about the fastest way that you can possibly play within your tempo system. All right, I've talked about it before. For me, in our tempo system, all right, and it's not something that I created, it's something that I've borrowed from other people. We think in terms of fast, faster, fastest, freeze. All right, those are the four things that we think about. So we think about the 4 Fs. We want to operate in a fast tempo to begin with. We want our no-huddle to operate very smoothly, very quickly, very efficiently. We want our communication to be streamlined, okay? We want to start there so that we can operate and play in a fast manner, all right? Then when we want to go faster, all right, we use something that we call turbo, which means that we are going to stay in a formation for a certain amount of plays until I decide that I want to kill that formation. And what that does is it stops guys from having to switch sides, all right, and it also eliminates one signal from the coach. So you don't have to signal in a formation. Guys don't have to switch sides or get lined up. They automatically line up in that formation that you previously had called, and now all you got to do is signal in one play. So that's faster. Fastest would be speedball, which means you run the same play over and over again until you decide to kill it. So you are getting up on the ball and running the same play. That means it's the same formation, same play. There is no communication from the sideline to the quarterback other than maybe a thumbs up or a thumbs down, all right, or a bullet, kill it, all right, or a knife, kill it, whatever the signal may be. There is no communication from the sideline to the quarterback. All right, and there won't be very much communication between the quarterback and the team. The team will line up, and unless they hear kill, they will line up and get ready to execute the same play over and over and over again. All right, that is the fastest manner at which you can operate as a up-tempo team or as any team in general. The fastest way you can operate is to get into the same formation with the same personnel, run the same play because there is no communication involved whatsoever. All right, so today we're going to talk about speedball as part of your tempo package. And we're going to talk about it from 20 personnel because that was the question asked to me is what things could you or would you do out of 20 personnel. Now, in order to be a speedball team or a tempo speedball part of your tempo, you have to understand that this doesn't mean that you just call a play and run it again because anybody can line up. You can line up in wing T and call buck sweep and run it 5 times in a row and line up in the same formation and run it and run it and run it. Okay? You can line up in the I and run toss sweep. Okay? You can line up in the flex bone and run midline. Any offense has a chance or a choice to line up in one formation and run a play with no call from the sideline 3 to 4 to 5 times in a row. Okay? The tempo part of it, or what makes you a tempo team, is when you have answers built into the calls that can now give your quarterback something to do with the football based on a change or a schematic advantage based on what the defense is doing. All right, so again, let's just understand that getting on the ball and calling a play in a formation and running that play 5 times in a row, all right, does not necessarily philosophically make you a tempo team. You may be playing at an extremely fast rate, but it doesn't make you a tempo team, because what a tempo team is going to try and do is they're going to try and have plays that have answers built in, all right, so that you can react to everything the defense does, so that when you're running these plays, maybe rapid fire without a call like speedball, or if you're running them in general in a tempo scenario where you're calling a play before the defense even gets set up with the front and the coverage, you are giving your quarterback, your receivers, and your line and your running backs, you're giving them a way to be successful while playing at that pace, because remember, all right, we are not going to check with me, audible, or change plays when we are playing in our tempo setting. We do have a freeze tempo that we use, so we can do that, but it is not what we really want to do, and it's not how we want to attack a defense. It is an answer for us. It is a change-up curveball for us, but that is not our mainstay. We are not a check-with-me team. Okay, so in order to play at effective tempo and be an effective tempo team, you need to understand to have speedball plays that have multiple answers built in so that your quarterback can put you in, all right, advantageous situations without having to change the play or do anything different. All right, so that's what we're going to look at today. We're going to look at 20 personnel speedball. All right, so the first one I'm going to draw up is going to be a post-snap RPO, all right, off of the power play. So 20 personnel power, I've got it drawn up to a 3-3 stack, 1 high. Normally we draw up stuff to even fronts. I'll draw it up to odd so everybody can see that we can draw some stuff up to odd. All right, I just go 3-3 stack right now for simplicity's sake. Okay, we want to go with our power play. So we're going to double here, back to the wheel. We're going to try and get this tackle down to the mic, all right, through the B gap. We are going to pick hinge the backside here. All right, we're going to pull this guard, skip pull him up to that front side, play side linebacker. We are going to kick the defensive end with our fullback. All right, we're going to try and have our tailback insert in that front side A gap if we can. Okay, the RPO is going to be post snap on the strong safety. And for argument's sake, we'll draw up the easiest one. All right, ball by 2, stalk the corner by 1. All right, this is not the RPO I would run off of power. All right, I would throw something different, but a lot of people, all right, run this version of the RPO. Now, also understand, I am talking about post-snap RPO right now, not pre-snap. So I'm not talking about throwing a bubble based on leverage of the strong safety. What I'm talking about is actually meshing with the tailback and reading the strong safety so that we can be right on every play. All right, so we want to make sure that we actually mesh, handle the 6 in the box, read the 7th, and then on the backside, you'll always have some type of gift scenario with your X receiver or your single receiver, all right, so that you can also keep an eye on that 8th guy in the box. Okay, so what we've got is we've got the power play, which we like versus this 6-man box. If we get this guy coming in and peeking his nose in to make plays, we know that we can mesh off, quarterback, pistol, open, mesh, eyes there, eject the ball with the forearm. All right, that guy sticks his nose in the box as I ride, eject my forearm in his back, kick, plant step, ball up, out to the bubble right now. If he's down here, especially versus 1 high, all we have is a corner left to block the ball. We can circle the wagons of the defense and get them out leveraged. Okay, if we do that and he has to stay out here, okay, all right, then we get a scenario where we can run the power and we've got 6-on-6 in the box. The only guy we've got to take advantage of or keep an eye on is this backside 8 defender. If he is folding hard or if he is making plays, we've got to be able to take gifts out here so that we can get him either wider or back deeper and draw a too high shell, all right, with maybe a corner out wider and him deeper so that he doesn't become that 8th guy in the box that's affecting the play. Now, when we do that, all right, this play can be run in a speedball scenario where we can come up and call this formation and call this play, and we can run it 3 times, 4 times, 5 times in a row. All right, and maybe the first time you come out and run it, all right, the first time you come out and run it, you get the power play given for 3 or 4 yards. Come out and run it again. That guy sticks his nose in, you throw the bubble. Come out and run it again. They pack the box tight, you come out here and you go to the gift. All right, that play has 3 scenarios built in. It is power, bubble, gift on the backside. It's got 3 scenarios built in, all right, that you can use, all right, for your offense so that in a tempo or an up-tempo speedball setting, you can call that play over and over and over again and not even need to make another call, never signal anything to your quarterback, get your guys up on the ball, playing really, really fast as you could possibly play, all right? Now, what's going to happen? Guys are going to say, Coach, you're on the right hash, that play's going to go into the boundary. Yeah, well, if I want to keep playing at that pace, then we'll keep doing it. If I want to kill it, I can kill it. All right, if it's on the right hash and they pack the box, I might get the gift throw to the field. So it doesn't mean, all right, that I'm not scared of being on the hash and running power or power bubble into the boundary. All right, I'm not afraid of that if I want to succeed at the tempo that I'm playing. If you really are afraid of it, then just kill, all right, that call and switch the formation. All right, but again, today we're talking about tempo, playing the fastest how we can possibly play out of this speedball setting. All right, so there's a power play. All right, another one out of this personnel group that you can use, all right? You can use it off a zone action, and this one will actually give you probably 4 built-in options, all right? But you can, all right, you can use this off a zone action, and extremely successful football play. It can be run as fast as you want to run it, all right? What you're going to do is you're going to run zone, all right, to this front side here. You're going to take this fullback on the back side here and you're going to bluff him around the defensive end, okay? You're going to bluff him around the defensive end. You can still go ahead and run bubble screen stalk there. You're going to run inside zone, all right? Inside zone, and you're going to have gift routes on the backside. And now what you're going to do, all right, is we are going to, now what we're going to do is we are going to run a regular zone read theory on a first level defender, all right? So this is not something, I don't consider this a post-snap RPO, all right? What I consider this is triple option football, all right? And yes, it's a run-pass option, I understand that. But in my vernacular, my terminology, I consider this triple option football. All right, what we're going to do is we're going to go zone read. We're going to bluff the fullback around, all right, to pick up any type of gap exchange stuff we might get. So the quarterback is going to go zone read. So now he's got the option to give. He's got the option to keep. He's got the option to throw the bubble. And he's got the option to throw the gift or the access. I call them access throws. Anybody in the end zone or Noma zone or anybody that uses those kind of systems will call it the gift. I call it access throws, all right? So that play right there, and we talked about this in the last blog on the questions I answered. This is what we call a 4-option play, all right? Quadruple option. Quarterback has 4 different things he can do with the football based on what the defense does, all right? Speedball, up-tempo. You want to play as fast as you can possibly play. You can't get a better scenario than this. This scenario has 4 things that can possibly happen for the offense. You get up in that 2-back set, you run that play, it's got 4 things that can happen based on what the defense does. You should be able to handle stunts, you should be able to handle blitzes, you should be able to handle coverage changes. You should have an answer built in without having to change the play if you run this style of an RPO, if you want to call it an RPO. I call it triple option football with an access throw built in on the backside. But either way you want to call it, I don't care if you consider it RPO. I call it triple. That's what we run. It's got 4 options to it. It's triple option football with a gift access throw built in to make a 4th option. This is one of the best plays you can run out of this personnel group if you want to play at a lightning fast tempo and give your quarterback the chance to figure out where the football goes. This is one of the best ones you can go to. All right, and most people have this in their offense. It's just split zone with a bluff, with a bubble screen with an access throw. Simple, everybody does it, but as a staple in a speedball setting, all right, I would love to come from the sideline with this play called and run it over and over again, depending on down and distance, penalties, making sure we don't go off sides, making sure we don't get a hold. If it's 1st and 10 and we run this play for 3, 2nd and 7, run it again. If we get 2 or 3, 3rd and 4, I might run it again, and I might just stay in it. Obviously, if we rip a chunk, that's great, but this is a play that we feel very comfortable running over and over and over again. All right? Another thing you can do is you can come back to the weak side out of 2-back stuff, and you can come back with an isolation theory to the weak side and get your X involved in the RPO. So you can come back, we're going to go, all right, obviously now I've got it drawn up to an even front, still a 6-man box, 8-man front, nothing's really going to change. Now what we're going to do is we are going to go zone to this weak side here. My bad. We are going to lock the back side here on the 3 and the 5. We're going to take the fullback up and insert. We are going to go zone ISO on the front side. On the front side of this right here, what we are going to have is we are going to have the RPO to this side with the bang 8 or the skinny slant route. So we're going to take the access throws on this side here. So now what we've got is we've got the 6-man box blocked with a zone isolation theory. So our 6 are blocking their 6. That's going to be the read for the RPO. That's going to be the guy that we have to control to make sure that he's not folding into the box or showing up on the line, blitzing, or doing things that he's unaccounted for in the zone scheme right now. Our 6, and again, within a numbers game, our 6 have their 6 in the box accounted for. Got to block them. Doesn't mean we're going to win, but we have 6 helmets for their 6 players. We feel good. 7 and 8, we got to control. To the quarterback's front side with the mesh, post-snap RPO, we are going to mesh that guy and feel like if he is sticking his nose in trying to make plays, all right, sticking his nose in trying to make plays, we will throw the route behind him. If he is sitting back to try and get 2 for 1 on the X, we will run the football in there. You could also very simply, if you wanted to, you could do it the other way, to where you had the ball coming back towards that weak safety. If you wanted to, depending on your entry point with the pistol back, or if he's offset, you could also very easily, you could zone these guys here, insert there, and get yourself an isolation play. So that will now look like standard ISO. It all depends on your entry point with the back, the terminology you have for your back to enter. But that is very simplistic ISO scheme where you're icing a linebacker, post-snap RPOing the weak safety dropping down. Some people call it 3rd level. 2nd level argument really, to me is irrelevant. We have to understand that we are post-snap RPOing off, all right, that 7th guy coming down to the front side, and we have to access read off that 8th guy on the back side. So now in speedball, in a speedball tempo, trying to play as fast as we can in that world that we're living in, we now have the choice to give the ISO, we have the choice to post-snap throw the skinny, we have the choice to throw the access throws based on the leverage and the coverage that we're getting to that side. So I feel like that's a play that can be run multiple times without making a call because my quarterback has several options with the football. All right, my quarterback can come out and give the ISO, he can come out and throw the RPO post-snap, he can come out and take the access throws. So again, 3 options for my quarterback I feel comfortable in a speedball setting. I'll give you one pass play that we like. All right, what I like in a speedball setting, I like a quick game combination with a bootleg. And it kind of gives the backside defensive end kind of a split flow zone look, which helps us get the corner. The timing of it sometimes, out of this set, out of the pistol, sometimes we can get into some issues with the timing of the fullback getting out before the tailback seals the corner. But essentially what we're doing is we are designing to the front side of the call side, we are designing a hitch route to our #1 receiver. So we got a quick game hitch route. Quarterback, punch, one. We punch out with our opposite foot, so I'm right-handed. I would punch with my left foot, plant with my right to be able to throw the quick game. So that's always going to be the first read. We are going to slide the protection fully to the side that we have the hitch called. Okay? And then what we're going to do is from that first receiver over, we're then going to build bootleg theories or waggle theories back the other way. So we're going to take this guy here, all right, and we're going to try and work him on the drag route. We're going to take this guy here and we're going to work him on the deep comeback route. We're going to take the fullback and we're going to take that bluff path into the flat, and we're going to take the tailback and we're going to get his helmet. He's got to seal the edge here. He's going away from the slide protection. He's got to seal the edge, and hopefully when we get this hard, full slide, this end sees that fullback coming. If it's a wrong arm team, hopefully this end squeezes, fullback dips by him to the flat, and now the tailback already has leverage to get his helmet outside. When you're playing teams that really hard squeeze, all right, if you're playing good football teams that versus down block, squeeze the air out of it and wrong arm anything coming at him, this is a great way to get the football on the edge, because when this guy wrong arms inside, your fullback will bluff it to the flat, and then your tailback will have great leverage to get his helmet on the outside, because your quarterback is going to punch one step here. He can throw the hitch all day long if coverage does not take it away. If coverage takes it away, he will then turn it into a waggle or a boot theory. All right, so for us, this is a quick boot combination. So we've got quick game with hitch on the front side, and then we've got a bootleg scenario on the back side where we've got routes drawn up, kind of leveled out to where we've got it, you know, a deeper route, an intermediate route, and a flat route, kind of flooding that side, going back to the side we're running the boot. You can do whatever you want with the routes. It does not matter, okay? But I like it in a speedball concept, because if we feel like the coverage lets us throw that front side hitch, we want to get up on the ball and throw that front side hitch all day long and keep throwing it if the coverage doesn't change. If we're playing at a speedball tempo to where maybe we're on the ball and they don't have a chance to change coverage quick enough, well then we'll just keep throwing the hitch. If that cornerback starts to see what's going on and starts peeking his nose down, or this strong safety starts widening out, well now we've already got an answer in. Punch one, hitch is not there, let's turn it into a boot. So this is a pass play that we really like, or I really like in a speedball setting, because it can be hitch or it can be boot. So I feel like I'm giving the quarterback options based on the coverage. All right, so what we want to keep in mind is speedball is the fastest way we can play, and we want to build our offense this way. Our offense wants to be built fast. Our offense wants to be built faster. Our offense wants to be built fastest. And our offense then wants to be built freeze. That is how you become a tempo team. All right, don't confuse yourself with no huddle. No huddle is just a way to communicate. Tempo teams have to play in an efficient manner, snapping the ball as fast as possible. So our base scenario has to have a method of communicating that can take care of this. We then have to get to a point where we take care of this, and that's our call, is that. We then have to get to a scenario where we take care of that, and our tempo call is that. So we want to be in turbo. It's going to get us in the same formation over and over again, which means we don't have to switch sides. We don't have to communicate what the formation is. That'll let us play faster. We want to get into speedball. All right, we get into speedball. Now it's the fastest way we can play. Same formation, same play. There's nothing to be communicated to the quarterback. So obviously that is how you can play the fastest way possible. And then if we have to, we always have this built in so that we can change the snap count and we can get the defense to show their cards with their front. Or a lot of guys, O-line guys, want to run certain plays at the 3, certain plays at the 1. As a tempo guy, I don't care where the front is. Doesn't bother me one bit. I'll run zone at the 3. I'll run zone away from the 3. I'll run power at a bubble. I'll run power at a 3 and a 5. I don't care, because my method is attacking as fast as I can attack. I want to teach my linemen to block every front that they can possibly see, and then I want to eliminate the multitude of fronts from them by playing faster, and I want to chop the legs out from those defensive linemen. So some people or a lot of times O-line guys will argue and say, well, coach, you're making it tougher on my linemen by running the zone at the 3 or at the 1, or running the power at the 1 or at the 3. You're making it tougher on the linemen. Well, yeah, but if I play with the right tempo, you're going to thank me second, third quarter when I make your job easier, because those guys got their tongue on the ground and you're blocking them and pancaking them 30 yards down the field because they can't breathe. So you've got to pick and choose what you want to do. If you want to get into a scenario where you want the best play call, then you got to freeze so you can get the best play called against that front, that coverage, that pressure, whatever it may be. So we're always going to be able to do that. I'm not saying I don't. Check with me. I'm just saying that's not how I live. That's not what I want to do. Okay? People worry about all the time, well, do you worry about the other team knowing turbo, knowing speedball? I don't, because these things come from the sideline, so you're never going to hear me say them. So I don't care if anybody that follows the blog, turbo, speedball, coach, you just gave away your terminology. I don't care, because those are things I call from the sideline. So I call those plays from the sideline and I make a turbo call, or I call those from the sideline and I make a speedball call. So these things are going to come out of a change of possession or a timeout. I never do them in the middle of a drive. We have other ways to possibly run a play or duplicate a play if we want in the middle of a drive. If we run a play and we want to get on the ball and duplicate that same play, we have other ways to do that. But this is the manner in which, coming from the sideline, we can play faster and fastest. So keep in mind that tempo is a methodology or a philosophy of how you want to attack. Keep in mind that no huddle just means it's a system of communication. It does not mean that you play fast. It means that you communicate without getting into a huddle. And then also keep in mind, study tempo football and understand, to play tempo football, you've got to package and build some things in together with runs and passes that can give your quarterback an option, because you're not giving him the ability to check, audible, or change plays. For any of you guys that are in the southeastern region, I will be speaking in Atlanta on February 24th and 25th, I believe, are the dates, Glacier. And then I will be speaking in Tampa March 3rd and 4th, I believe, are the dates in Tampa for the Glacier. And I will be speaking on everything from 4-2-5 split field coverages to wide receiver play to lightning fast up tempo to getting your running back involved in the passing game to getting receivers involved in the run game. So I've got multiple topics that I'm speaking on in Atlanta and Tampa. So if you're in the southeast area or you're going to Glacier clinics in that area, make sure you check out some of the topics I'm speaking on. I'll further some of my opinions on things that we do normally on the blog. And I'll catch you guys next time. Remember, you don't play well until you play fast.